Hi, my name is Mariani Vivas, and I am the personal injury marketing consultant for prospect providers. This video, I want to quickly show you what I see on a weekly basis with our offices that we service with our program. A lot of chiropractors ask us, like, what are the average results they can expect to see in their office if they implement our program? And, results vary from office to office. It varies from state to state. So I'm going to share my screen to show you a little bit of what the performance of this program looks like with two offices that I've taken as an example that have been with us for over a year. And then I'm going to show you somebody who has been with us for just 3 months. So here we have our first example. This is an office that I've been working with for a while now in Idaho, in the state of Idaho. And as you can see, this office started with us in July of 2024. And right now we're in March. So as you can see here, we track the number of mailers going out every week from this office, the number of inbound calls, just like I said, number of outbound calls, PI appointments booked, PI appointments kept, and number of PIs closed. So let's review this really quickly, this example. Okay, so as you can see, he started by doing about 100 mailers in his first month. Then he went almost to 200 mailers over here. It says 189 exactly for August 2024. Then it went down to 146, 237. And you can see how these statistics, these metrics starts telling you a story. And you as a business owner can observe and let the numbers speak for themselves to you. Okay, so you can see that, the mailers were going out in a number that was continuously going up. Same over here. The number of inbound calls were going up. Look at this. In the month of August alone, 3 phone calls came in. But then when we go to September, 10 phone calls came in. Then in the month of October, 12 phone calls came in. And then it had a little bit of a crash, of a dip, to only 3 phone calls being received. And then it stayed in this range of 3 to 4 to 5 phone calls being received, and March having a little bit of a downward trend, right? And you can see that it mirrors this downward trend over here. The less mailers that you do, the less phone calls you're going to get. So it's very important to keep that volume high, correct? Then as you can see here, the staff member in Idaho was able to help the chiropractor by doing hundreds of phone calls, 208 phone calls being done in the first month of August, then 295, 358, then it had a little dip to 203. It went back up to 234, and you get the picture of how it goes. Then we can see out of these phone calls, and of course the inbound calls, how many appointments was she able to book on a monthly basis. So in July, they started with the mailers. Only 1 appointment got booked. Then we jumped to 11 appointments being booked in the second month alone. That's pretty great. Then by the third month, you can see how she built momentum. She went to 17 appointments being booked in the month of September alone. Then you have 18 appointments. These are pretty good ranges over here. Then she has a dip and then another dip. But still, here she has 11 appointments booked, 9 appointments booked, and she gets the numbers back up to 13 appointments being booked. And then you can see she starts having a downward trend, which mirrors again this over here. This is very key to observe. The less volume of people you reach out to, and as you can see, her number of phone calls also went down, then it starts mirroring over here. Then we move forward to PI appointments kept, like how many appointments out of those that were booked were actually showing up and coming into the office. So you can see the first month, 9 people showed up to their appointment. That's great. And then the second month, 16 people showed up at the office. Okay. And then we're going to see how many people were closed out of that, right? Then it had a dip and then another dip. 10 people showed up over here, 6 people showed up, another 6 people showed up the next month, 10 people again, and then you can see again the dip, right? That mirrors what we've been talking about over here, right? So now let's see. The first month of August, so he received 9 people in the office. Out of those 9 people, 3 were closed as PIs. Perfect. Then in the month of September, he had 16 people come in. And out of those 16, he was able to close 7. Okay. That way you can see the conversion rate right there. Then in the month of October, he had 10 people come in and he closed 3 of those, and so on and so forth. This tells me, as the PI marketing consultant, how this office is performing at a quick glance. But now let's look at another office that has been with us for a while as well. And this is interesting because the office that I just showed you in Idaho can do mailers to car accident victims and phone calls. Whereas this office over here, which is located in Minnesota, cannot perform phone calls to car accident victims because it's illegal. So they can only rely on the mailing piece arriving at the person's house and the person actually picking up the phone and wanting to book an appointment. Okay. So as you can see, he started over here in May, June of 2024. And you can see it's a huge number of mailers being sent out, because in Minnesota alone, we get about 4,000 to 6,000 crash victims a month. The highest he's done is 3,000, which was in November 2024. And then you can see how this mirrors, right, this other statistic right here. You can see in the first month of May, he got 11 phone calls in. That's pretty great from just mailers alone. Then you have 13 phone calls that came in June 2024, and it goes up again to 17. You can see how it builds momentum in the first 3 months. Then it starts, fluctuating, as you can see over here, but still he's getting a pretty decent amount of interested leads calling in. Then he has a big spike over here in November 30th, 2024, which is exactly the same peak over here. Do you see that? How the statistics really are precise and tell you a very accurate story. Okay. And then if we keep moving forward, we can see how many appointments he was booking on a monthly basis. He was building momentum, as you can see. Then it has a dip. Then it comes back up again. When? In the month of November, exactly where he did the most mailers, or his staff actually sent the most mailers out. Okay. I can always determine what's happening by just looking at this, right? And if I'm seeing that the number of mailers are going down, well, of course, this number of appointments being booked is going to go down. Okay. It's inevitable. And then we're going to also see that the number of appointments being kept will go down. But when you bring the number of mailers back up, everything else will come back up. Okay. And then you can see the number of PI closed. And then he had a big spike again, 5 PIs starting in care, then 6 starting care. And then when you see the number of mailers started going down, of course, the number of closes, you can see, starts going down. So he did 4 and then did 3. Okay. So there you go. This is an overview, a quick overview of what you can expect to see with our program, with our PI marketing program based on mailers and phone calls. Okay. It's pretty cool to be able to run your business and run this PI marketing line based on statistics, based on metrics. It's very important to base it on that and let the numbers really tell you what's working and what's not. Whatever it's not working, let's change it. Let's replace it. And whatever is working, we want to double up on that. We want to strengthen that, correct? So there you go. This is how we track and monitor the results and performance of our PI marketing program, office by office, state by state. So if you want to work with us, please click on the button below or above this video. If you're seeing us on YouTube or you're seeing us on an email or social media, and please contact me, Ariane Vivas or Amy Brown, and we will help you get set up so you can start working with your local crash victims and increase your revenue as a result. See you on the other side.